what's this? What is this? You may be asking. This is some sort of lists where things are organized into tiers? Yeah. This is a tier list of the best video game controllers to put in your butt. Now, best is of course very subjective, but this isn't just me ranking these things. As you can see, these things are already ranked, but these are not my rankings. They're the rankings of another YouTuber called Kurtis. And as you might be able to see, there are some problems here. And that's what this video is really about, more or less. Now, the criteria for best, we're going to be referencing more or less what seems to be the idea behind what best is as proposed by Kurtis himself. You could even say that it's a tier list based on how easy it would be to put each video game controller in your butt. Like best is sort of nebulous. I think a better term would be easiest. Fair warning for the people watching at home or abroad, just in general. Fair warning for you people. I am not, as you might say, a gamer. I try not to use the hard R with that because I know that I probably have some gamers in my audience right now, and I just don't want to deal with that. I want to be respectful, and just so we're not going to use hard R G word. I think I should just refer to it as the G word. I'm not really a G word, but I mean, this isn't really about, gaming. It's more about putting things in your butt. So let's hop right in. So, okay, let's go ahead and start. So S tier. Now, it's important to realize all of this is relative. So something does have to go in S tier. And there's some logic here, but there's also a major issue, I think. So first off, Kurtis put these little wandy things. Look, bud, I don't know. I don't remember what they're called, dude. I can't. Frick off. And he put these in S tier. And the reason is basically because they look like dildos. But here's the issue with this. You see the little, I'm going to give you a little factoid. You see how at the top they got those little balls? That's a problem. There's a very steep cutoff point between the controller and the little ball things. The little ball things that you're going to put in your butt. There's a problem there. And I don't think he really considers the ramifications of that. He puts it above the Wiimote, which doesn't have any sort of weird, janky things where your butt is going to expand and contract around and then expand again. It's just going to be a challenge. That's a factor. That's got to be a factor. If you're not factoring that in, you're not doing your job. Okay, big K man, the big K dude, KC, come on, get it together, buddy, get it together. You have an audience of people, you have a big audience of people, you're responsible for the things that you put out, and you can't be doing things like this. Next you have the Joy-Con for the Switch. This is valid enough, but one thing that is important to sort of consider is that in a lot of instances, you would be playing with both of them at the same time, and that's also a thing that I don't really think he factors in. And another thing that's important is that they got the little stick, they got the little joystick thingy, and that's not going to be great. That said, I think out of all of the things in the tier list, it's reasonable to put those in S tier. But I would move these little wand things, I would move those to A tier. Not really don't really deserve to be an S. I could even consider moving them down to B. That might be reasonable even, because I do think that the Wii controller, the Wiimote, would actually be easier. Sure, it's got sort of a blunt end, but there aren't any sharp corners at least. So, I mean, I think that you could probably manage. It has the little rope thingy, and you could do all sorts of things with that. You could carry something, you know, little safety harness so it doesn't get lost. I mean, really, not really that bad of a choice. But they're more or less the same size. Sure, they have the little ball thing at the end that makes things a little bit more difficult, but they're also rounder in general. So I would say that it sort of balances out with the Wiimote in terms of like how easy it would be to put in your butt. You look at this one, I don't know, honestly. Kurtis's rules state that the wire is not included, which would obviously be the worst part. And B tier might be accurate. I mean, I can't, like, it seems like a reasonable place to put it, all things considered. So I think I would even leave that there. I think that that's a decent enough decision. I mean, I really have only had problems with one of his placements so far. But here comes another issue. So in D tier, we have the GameCube controller. Now, let's think about this rationally, like rational human beings. So maybe this is reasonable, okay? It could be reasonable because a tier list is relative. So it's possible the things below it are way worse. But then you look down, and he had like the PlayStation controller. And it's like, that thing's not nearly as crazy as the GameCube. Look at this. Look at this monster. Look at the absolute monster that is the Nintendo GameCube controller. Like, that's terrible. That would be the worst. And like, you look at the PlayStation controller, sure, that's not a good, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to work a little bit. But I personally feel like the idea that, look at that, look how the sheer dimensions of it. It's like a 4x3, whereas like the Sony PlayStation controller, the PS2 controller is like a good 16x9, which is just better overall, I think, for our purposes. So I would move the Sony up. I would move the PS2 up, and I'd move the GameCube down. But I might even consider moving, because the way I see it, you look at the Xbox 360 controller, and that's also just a monster, dude. It's a fat little guy. And I would say I would move the PS2 controller up to C tier even, just so I could put that in its sort of own little place. Yeah, I don't think it's nearly as bad as the GameCube, but it's also got like this crazy 4x3 aspect ratio with, and that's going to be a hard thing that's going to be hard to put in your butt. I don't know what to tell you guys. That's just the situation with that. That is what's happening. I think that putting the Nintendo GameCube controller in D tier is frankly irresponsible. Frankly, like, I'm kind of disappointed that he would do something like that, because like, that's terrible. Somebody's probably going to hurt themselves. Somebody's probably going to put it in their butt and die. That's, if I'm being perfectly frank, this controller is going up somebody's butt, and the person's just going to die. And that's what's going to happen. And there's not really, it's sort of Kurtis's fault. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe go to jail. Maybe go to jail forever. Maybe maybe die. Maybe be executed. Maybe you should be executed for that. I don't know. F tier generally makes sense to me. Yeah, I don't see any problems with F tier, to be perfectly honest. It does seem to me like there's sort of a separation here, where like the Guitar Hero controller is much worse than any of the other ones. just like in terms of relative badness. But like, I get it. I get the vibe. Like, I understand basically. The Xbox 360, the Kinect thing, is there because Kurtis's logic was that you would have to put an entire person's body, your own body again, into your ass. And by if we're going by that logic, then of course that would be F tier naturally. Though I don't know that that logic really holds up, to be perfectly honest. All things considered, you need to use your body to utilize all of these controllers. In the Wii, you have to utilize your body kind of actively. You're playing Wii Sports Resort, and you're fighting the little guy with the little lightsaber things on the big platform or whatever. You're using the heck out of your little body. You can't play that without using your body. So I would say that it's sort of dubious. Like, I sort of get it. I sort of understand. And I'm going to go ahead and let it slide. I'm going to let it slide this time, okay? I'm going to let you off with a little warning. You're still going to be executed. Still, execution is probably due. But I'm going to let you off with a warning for the Xbox 360 putting your whole own body up your own butt situation. That's the whole video. This is why it's a second channel video, because that's it. That's all that this is. I was just like, hey, what if I did that? And then I did. That's it. That's how that went. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below which controller you'd like to put up your butt. Also, what's your opinion on the putting your whole body up the butt situation? What is your opinion on that? What are your thoughts? Thoughts and prayers in the comment section for the person who died because they shoved a GameCube controller up their butt because of Kurtis Connor. Yeah. See ya. Goodbye. Get out of here. Leave. Go. Get the fuck out. There's the door. Get out of here. Get out. What are you doing? Go. Go.